What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another video on high altitude investing. Today we are going to be talking about how to find hot coins before they pump. Before we get started though, my name is Dallin Anderson. Do me a favor, and if you enjoy these videos, make sure you are a subscriber to this channel. Also, at the end of this video, if you found it valuable, make sure to share it with your friends. Today is going to be super helpful for those of you who are wondering how to find coins before they pump, how to find those hot projects before they really take off. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. So, how do we find pumping coins? Today we're going to be talking about 7 things I use to find pumping coins. You guys, this is extremely useful for finding those projects that are about to pump before they pump, because of these simple 7 things to watch for. So if you keep using these 7 things over and over and learn how to apply them perfectly, or at least very good, because at the start you're not going to really know what you're doing, these 7 things are going to change your life. I can promise you that. So you guys, let's get started here on BTC. We're going to first look at an example of a coin that already pumped. In other words, a cycle that already pumped, because this is going to show you what we are looking for in these other setups. So let's go ahead and remove all the drawing tools so that we can start from the very beginning here with Bitcoin. So you guys, Bitcoin ran up to $20,000 per coin back in 2017 and came all the way down to $3,100 per coin by the end of 2018. That was a pretty big run up in value. Now, when Bitcoin hit $3,000 per coin, that is where a lot of people wouldn't have been aware of the opportunity in Bitcoin. So today's video is how to find hot coins before they pump, right? And 7 tools that we can use to do that, with a little bonus tool inside of this video as well, so you guys can see that we want to find a setup like Bitcoin, an example of one that has pumped. That's exactly what we have here, is Bitcoin, and we have a perfect example of a project that increased in value, that declined in value, that bounced back up to resistance, came back down to support, and then broke out into a bull market. So what does that mean, you guys? That means that Bitcoin pumped really hard. So if we analyze what happened before it pumped, that will give you a better idea what to look for in the future for coins that will pump. So, looking here at Bitcoin, the very first thing that we look for is a market cycle, which you guys can see if you haven't watched my video on how to trade market cycles. Go back a couple days and you will find the video on how to trade market cycles. We have this huge pump all the way up to 20,000 and the run back down to 3,000. So this is a complete market cycle. Disbelief, new paradigm, and depression. So that's the very first thing that we look for inside of a coin that is going to pump. How to find a hot project before it pumps. We want to see a complete retracement in value. This isn't always the case. Some of these coins get added and have never had a market cycle before, which actually is one of the things that we also look for, is a new coin at the beginning of a new bull market. Because those coins, a lot of times, if they have good marketing and they have good exchanges people can trade on, easily accessible, a lot of those new coins pump really hard. So simply put, you guys, Bitcoin saw a huge pump and a huge retracement, and one of the things we do look for is a market cycle. If it hasn't had a market cycle, then obviously you can't look for one. If it has had a market cycle, you want to start buying where people are very fearful. After a 70-80% decline, at least that is the rule of thumb in the crypto markets, because we have big drops as well as huge climbs. So an 80% decline in value is a perfect market cycle. We see the pump, we see the retracement, and then we get another mini market cycle you can see right here, which led into this huge hot pumping bull market that a whole bunch of people made a ton of money on, including myself. So that was a really, really fun run up in Bitcoin, but what caused it? The market cycle. It did a full retracement. It was undervalued. You can see the cycle as clear as if I'm talking to you right now. It pumped and it retraced. It was undervalued and it needed to push higher. And that is exactly what you look for. You want to see something that's retraced. So what's one that hasn't happened? Solana. We talked about this in yesterday's video, so go check it out. Solana looks almost exactly like Bitcoin as it started to break out here, come up to resistance, pull back, and really go into its bull market. You can see that is a market cycle. And not only is it a market cycle, it's a market cycle that's already started to reverse. So that is really good looking. And we're going to talk about bullish engulfing in a second too, because that's something we look for. But you can see on both of these setups, we have a bullish engulfing candlestick right there and a bullish engulfing candlestick right here. So the same exact setup is happening on Solana, just basically like Bitcoin back here in 2019 before the huge pump we saw in 2019, and of course the pullback in 2020, and the pump that came afterwards where Bitcoin went all the way to almost $70,000 per coin. So that is an example of a market cycle on Bitcoin that happened before it became a hot coin, before it became a hot project. And I mean, Bitcoin's always been hot, it's always been cool, but it goes through phases. And when I'm saying hot, I mean profitable. And so if you want to find something before it pumps really hard like this, then you need to find it when nobody cares about it. By the way, you guys, Bitcoin was something we were watching all through 2019, 2018, and 2020 for a big pump because of the market cycle. So this is something we did use to successfully project where Bitcoin could go and call it before it became hot, before it became a big deal again. So that's the market cycle. Super powerful. Go watch my video, How to Trade Market Cycles. But simply put, you don't want to buy something that's overvalued. If something is breaking into a new market cycle, it can go pretty dang high before it turns around again. So there are opportunities where you buy breakouts and you're not really doing anything wrong. But for the sake of this video and the sake of simplicity, buying the dip in a market cycle, especially after a pretty large decline like we see here in Solana, is one of the most effective trading strategies there is. It's what professionals use every day. Now, Litecoin is another great example of one of these market cycles. We have this huge pump up, a 90% decline, but the difference between Litecoin is Litecoin has not started to break out yet. So if it can get above this little resistance zone here, because it's ranging in this zone you can see, Litecoin will start doing exactly what Solana did when it broke out of its zone right here. Solana broke out of this trading zone down here and started to take off. Now Litecoin is set up to do the same thing. If prices get up above $103, it's going to be a hot coin, just like how Solana is starting to right now, and just like how Bitcoin did as it bottomed out here and broke out in 2021. Now, Injective is an example of one of these market cycles. You can see that with Injective, we did see that huge decline that we're talking about in value. Then we have this bottom structure down here where it was ranging inside of a range. It broke out of that range. So here's our market cycle, you guys. Here's our ABC correction. And then we break out of that ABC correction. We find support. And boom, we start pushing up through resistance. So you can see how this market cycle and that ABC correction, which I know a lot of you guys are new that watch my channel. This is an ABC correction. It's what happened on Bitcoin back here. ABC correction. It signifies undervalued market structure. Elliott waves are one of the 7 things that we do look for. And this ABC Elliott wave correction is a very good opportunity. So we did a market cycle. We did a correction, which is infused inside of that cycle, because every market cycle has to have a correction. And then we broke out. We broke out of that range, and this coin is hot right now. It's actually breaking its all-time high, and who knows how high Injective is going to go. But I will tell you that fighting this trend is not smart. So that market cycle is what we look for, you guys. We look for that pump, we look for that retracement. You can see it on Solana. You can see it how it already happened on Injective. You can see it happening with a lot of coins right now. So going back over to Bitcoin, you guys, we look for that market cycle. We also look for good and heavy marketing. So if something is heavily marketed, like how Dogecoin in the last cycle and Shiba Inu was being marketed by all of these major exchanges and platforms, and everybody was talking about it, that is a really good sign, especially as it's breaking out of a cycle. Like if you see it breaking out of a market cycle, then it gets heavily marketed and you see a lot of marketing. Probably a really good sign that institutions want to push it really high and they need retail money to do that. So they're marketing it heavily. So we look for market cycle and we look for good marketing. So those are number 1 and number 2. And if you can find those 2 things at the right time, you're going to find hot coins before they pump. Number 3, you guys, volume precedes price. In other words, before a coin pumps, it has a significant increase in volume. You can see here on Bitcoin before it went up in 2021, this huge capitulation, panic seller volume that happened in 2020. This was the pandemic drop right here, and a lot of people panic sold their Bitcoin. We were doing the Moonboy podcast all through this period, and we were talking about how Bitcoin was in one of the best opportunities ever in 2020. And it mooned right afterwards, but one of the reasons we knew that was because one of the reasons I knew that was because number 1, the market cycle had completed. We had dropped down to 3,000, we broke out, we were pulling back. The cycle was ready to go again. But number 2, look at all that volume that came in right when that pandemic hit. And I knew that Bitcoin was going to take off. So lo and behold, it did. And volume precedes price. So if you can find coins that are heavily traded in volume, that's usually a good sign of a hot coin. But you also, this is not a one size fits all rule, because there are a lot of new coins that don't have any volume. And there's a lot of coins that will have high trading volume later, but don't yet, because they're just not in the awareness of the public yet. So because of that, it's a rule of thumb. It could be high volume in connection to something else. So it might be trading high volume in comparison to your other low caps. In that case, you can still use the rule. But just understand that not every coin that does 1,000x has to have billions of dollars in trading volume. It's a general rule of thumb. There's exceptions. But yeah, high volume is generally a very good sign. And especially if you can go on CoinMarketCap and look at 30-day trending volume. If you're looking for just real safe bets, buying high market cap, high trending 30-day volume projects that have good marketing, that's a good project, it's really pretty hard to go wrong doing that. So if you're holding throughout the cycle and buying the dip. So you guys, we do look for high volume. We also look for new coins. We mentioned that earlier. If a coin is new, Injective was new to 2021, was its first cycle. And this is really its first big market cycle. This is a new coin, you know? I'm so glad my friend told me about it. Shout out to him, Remington. I appreciate you. And we're so lucky to have so many new coins here in the crypto space all the time. You go to coinmarketcap.com, there's hundreds and hundreds of new coins. New coins pump harder than the older ones, generally speaking, in the bull markets. Solana did better than Ethereum, right? There's just newer coins just have a tendency to do higher market cap increase, higher percentage gains. So in those new cycles, you want to find those new coins that have good marketing, good project. People are talking about it on Twitter, you know. Those new coins, those are the ones that can really, really change your life. I've seen it happen over and over again. It happens every cycle. Sometimes those new coins might not have any trading volume. They might not even have a market cycle yet. But you know that it's going to be a big deal because everybody's talking about it. There's institutions, Twitter. However you heard about it, if you find a new coin, you know it's going to be a big deal. A lot of times those new coins will do better percentage gain. So don't be afraid to sell off some of your old coins, you guys. This isn't financial advice, but in my own personal trading journal, what I do, if I need to sell off an old coin, I will. There's a lot of new coins in the market right now that are just set up for big gains, and it's a good time to set up for that. Like Bitcoin, for example. Bitcoin, I believe in Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin will do very well in the next bull market. You guys know I'm a big BSV guy also, but Bitcoin here, like BTC Bitcoin, not BSV Bitcoin, is not going to do near the percentage gain that a lot of altcoins will, or even BSV will. And so therefore, I'm not telling you guys what to do or anything, but I'm just going to be honest with you that new coins, new projects have a tendency to outperform these older coins. The older ones still do good. They carry the market. They're kind of like the S&P 500. That's how I view Bitcoin. It's like the mothership of the crypto space, but it's not the most profitable. But it is super profitable still. So we love Bitcoin. And yeah, but they're just new coins have a tendency to do bigger percentage gains. They're lower market cap. People get excited about new stuff. It's just human nature. So yeah, new coins. The other thing, you guys, is outperformance or leading coins. That is exactly what Solana is doing. You know, some of these coins like Litecoin hasn't broke out yet. I'm not saying it won't. It probably will. I really believe Litecoin will do good this cycle too. But Solana is leading, Injective is leading. These are coins where market cap is coming in. Institutions are picking them up. Big players, big whales, they're picking up these coins. They're leading. They're outperforming other coins. Solana versus Ethereum. Solana's outdoing Ethereum. Right? So focus on those outperforming coins. Don't marry a coin. I love Ethereum. I love Litecoin. I love Bitcoin. But I'm going to tell you right now, Solana's going to do higher percentage than Ethereum. And I might get hated for that, but it's just true. And there's a lot of coins that will outperform. So don't marry your coins. Be willing to kill it when it's time to let go. Focus on those coins that are going to give you good percentage gains in a balanced way where your portfolio still has those bigger market cap stability coins. Bitcoin is a lot more stable than some of these altcoins. So it's good to have Bitcoin as a stability asset, but it's not going to give you the same percentage gain. So outperforming coins, very important, very key. Follow the money. That's what they say in politics. That's what you do in investing. Okay, bullish engulfing. We talked about this at the start of the video. We've talked about market cycles, good and heavy marketing, high volume, new coins, outperforming or leading coins. Bullish engulfing, you guys. This is number 6 of the most important things to look for new coins, hot coins before they pump. Bullish engulfing is what happened right here. We talked about it in yesterday's video, top 10 altcoins, which, by the way, those are all coins which are set up to be very hot projects going into 2024. So loving those setups. Go check it out. This bullish engulfing candlestick is something we watch for, especially on the 1 week, the 1 month time frame, but even the 3-day, the 5-day, or the daily, and give these bullish engulfing candlesticks. And let's zoom in here so you guys can really see as clear as I'm talking to you that this right here is what you want to see. That's a bullish engulfing. The body of this red candle is pretty small, right? The box, that body of the candle is pretty small. The body of the bullish, the buyer candle that came afterwards is huge. It engulfed. That shows buyers taking over. And you can see that's exactly what happened. Buyers took over. There was still some seller momentum, but the buyers were in charge now. So they push it up. They buy support. They keep pushing it up. The buyers are in charge. Bullish engulfing is something we watch very closely for. It even happened again right here. Here's a little bullish engulfing. This one engulfed the red one. See, bullish engulfing. Super strong sign of a reversal. It happened here on Bitcoin. There was a little baby bullish engulfing right here. We have our red candle. We get engulfed by the bulls. Here's another bullish engulfing candlestick right here. We have a red candle. Boom, just completely engulfed by the bulls. And if you go out to the 1 month on Bitcoin, you're going to see the most giant bullish engulfing candlestick you've ever seen in your life, which is right here. So we watch for that. It's a very strong sign of the shift between seller to buyer momentum. Okay, you guys, Elliott waves, we talked about this a little bit, but we do look for those 5 waves up. We look for that ABC correction. That correction could be an expanded flat ABC like we saw on Bitcoin. It could be a standard zigzag ABC correction like we see here on Solana. But those ABC Elliott wave corrections are extremely valuable to be able to buy these projects undervalued, buy them when the big money is buying, and to be greedy when others are fearful, right? That ABC correction helps a lot with that. Also, knowing Elliott waves can be extremely useful for understanding where you're at in the context of the cycle. For example, here on Solana, a lot of people would say, oh, it went up, it's time to sell. Kinda, yeah. But also from an Elliott wave perspective, Solana might pull back a little bit here, but we haven't done 5 waves yet. So upside is more likely than downside, at least until we get a lot closer to those resistance levels, and at least until we see 5 wave up on a micro Elliott wave cycle. So here's a micro cycle, 1, 2. We could get a 3 here, 4. And we want to see that 5 wave, right? Then it could pull back and then find support and keep going up higher. But Elliott waves allows us to see where we're at in the context of the micro cycles and the macro cycles. And that's what makes up markets, is cycles. So if you can map yourself out inside of those cycles, you are ahead of the curve. You can put yourself ahead of a lot of people. So yeah, those are what we look for. Those are the 7 things. Market cycle, good and heavy marketing, high volume, new coins, coins that are outperforming and leading the other coins, bullish engulfing candlestick patterns, and Elliott waves. But last but not least, just a bonus, number 8 is hype. This is obvious, and you don't want to buy something that is at the peak of its hype, but when a new cycle starts, there's always coins people are excited about. Right now, there's a lot of AI coins that people are excited about. There's always coins people are hyped about. Do not buy maximum hype, and do not buy something just because it's hyped. But if it's just starting a new cycle, if it's following all of the parameters, it's undervalued, or it's brand new, so it hasn't done a cycle, it has good volume, it could be outperforming. If it's following those other parameters and it's hyped, and you don't think that it's the top, you don't think that it's just hyped because it's at the top of the cycle, hype is extremely useful. You want to follow the money, right? That's just like volume. And where people get excited, like Dogecoin in the last cycle, Shiba Inu, a lot of people made a lot of money. So trading those hype coins is very valuable. Just understand that you need to be willing to take profits, ready to take profits. And also it's always good to invest money you can afford to lose. Just because if you get too excited and it was just people were just excited because it was the top of the cycle instead of you correctly identifying the other parameters, just trading a coin because it's hyped can be detrimental. But it is powerful to follow the trend, to follow hyped coins, and leading coins and high volume coins are usually kind of all together. So I hope that those 7 points on how to find hot coins before they pump are helpful, plus our little bonus point there for you guys today. You guys, there's a lot of coins that are set up to be very, very profitable in this cycle. A lot of coins that are following all of these parameters perfectly that have not yet pumped. So I hope this was helpful for you. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it and learned something. If you did, like I said before, please share it with your friends. Also, you guys, you can comment down below if you have any ideas for videos. I want to know what you guys want me to talk about. Again, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. And make sure you guys please check out the website highaltitudecrypto.com. And I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos. As always, stay profitable out there.